Hello, everyone. I am Chris Falco, and I am the storyteller for Exalted versus World of Darkness Pentex. I am storytelling for.
Andrew, I play Mason, a Dawncast Solar.
Peter as Dolores Star, the Heart Eater.
And Nick as Henry Temple, the Infernal Exalted.
All right, so we are starting off right, well, in the belly of the beast, so to speak. We are in, or at least Henry is in a lab deep inside of the Magadon building. Henry, why don't you go ahead and give us a basic description of how your exaltation started, because you are the only one that got that deal ahead of time.
Sure. Well, to put it simply, about a month ago, he picked up a new a refill for his ADHD medication. However, it made him unusually sick, throwing up, headaches, that sort of thing. And he got so sick that he was kind of bedridden, and he didn't really have anyone in his life to help him out. So he was just kind of getting worse. And then he had a demon show up. They wasn't sure was a hallucination or not. He accepted some kind of deal. He doesn't remember the details. And then he got enclosed in a big flesh chrysalis egg thing. And he doesn't remember much after that.
Yep. So you indeed were encased in a horrible egg chrysalis thingy, but you are, as mentioned, now deep in Magadon, as some of your co-workers discovered that egg when you didn't show up, and, well, it was very interesting to some of them. So you are dreaming, I guess, towards the end of your chrysalis, and you are getting vague visions of the laboratory that you've, well, never seen before. That's so all of you can see that.
Oh.
Yes. So you've, among your other horrific hell dreams, have had some other dreams of poking and prodding and visions and what looks like some horrible being trapped in a tube across from you. And that is where we're going to start, more or less. Now, Mason, you are part of a first team that just got installed here at this building. It's essentially, baby's first security detail. Not much has ever been said to happen here. It's just a little medical research facility. It's not one of their top ones. It's usually like, test the medicine, test chemicals, little things, nothing huge. So really they don't need you, but it's policy to have security there. And, well, it means most of your days are pretty easy so far.
Right. They pay pretty well.
Someone needs to guard those, floor height, wolf-sized vents.
Right, yeah. You don't want one of them getting in there.
Right. They give us the sea silver bullets for a reason, right?
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit yourself about what led up to this detail, just so we have a basic idea of who your character is.
Well, Mason was having financial problems, and it turns out that working for Pentex pays really, really well. Mm-hmm. And they'll take just about anybody. So they were happy to totally ignore his medical discharge from the army and take him as a Pentex first team member. There was the usual training. Presumably they elected not to insert a bane in him, or let him join the elite mutant class, or whatever they call them, the humanity's next step. And so mostly his days so far after the training have been walking around, in a big Pentex security vest with a sidearm,
mm-hmm.
And it's like, why, and then there were intro videos run by enticers describing, the hideous beasts that may invade at any time, the enemies of humanity, giant werewolves.
Yep, for some reason, these horrible things might want to attack a medical research facility of all places where they are just trying to make humanity better.
Yeah, they just hate
cure
progress, is
everyone.
what it is.
Exactly. Like, you gotta keep it safe from such horrible things. Now then, Dolores, why don't you tell me a little bit about your day job in this facility yourself?
Well, Dolores is an elderly lady that works as a mailroom clerk in the basement floor of this building. So just, making sure all the mail gets delivered and processed and everything.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward for you.
Glorified hero.
Yep.
Something of sin debts at the age of 60.
Now, you did get an odd package today that you were told to set aside, that someone will come by for it later. You'll know them when you see them. That's what you were told, which is, of course, a horribly stressful thing to be told, to have to do that instead of the normal,
Oh no, a special package.
Right.
Awful.
Yep. Okay. Let's set up some background noise. All right. Now then, back to Henry. So you are starting to feel better, like as good as you've ever felt in your life. Whatever those medication were doing to you up until now that seemed to be making you worse, well, it's definitely not hurting you anymore. You are starting to come to, and you don't really like being stuck inside of this chrysalis anymore. However, as you're kind of getting your vision back, you can sort of see through to that, the image I already set up for you. You can see that several, people in lab coats are poking and prodding, and they just kind of inserted something into the side of your horrible crystal. And what's worse is that it seems to be doing something. It feels weird, like it's trying to sap some energy away. And you notice it is connected to that cylinder on the desk, and it's beginning to glow and crackle, and it's just something is wrong, but they seem happy with it for whatever reason.
Oh, God.
You may start to emerge if you would like.
Yeah, I think as soon as Henry starts to become more conscious, as the feeling that maybe this is like a half sleep dream starts to fade away, he's panicking. He is going to try to kick out at where they poked a hole with their prod and just try to bust the hell out of here.
All right.
Desperately.
Yes, well, why don't you give me any sort of roll for that? You don't have to necessarily do a good job. I just want to see how it looks.
Okay, I'll roll charisma and occult, no problem.
Why don't you roll something that makes sense for breaking out of a crystal?
I can't see my character sheet.
Just double click your square on the upper left.
Oh goodness, I forget how big this thing is. Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
Right. So I guess I will roll Dex and Brawl.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm also going to spend a willpower.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just to kick things off. So I have Dex 2 and how much Brawl do I have? I have 1. Okay. Yeah, this is going to go great.
I mean, like I said, I'm not going to leave you stuck in there if you fail. I'm just seeing how this looks.
It would be funny though.
Yeah.
How awesome you
We have
are.
to carry him around in a like a wheelbarrow.
All right, let's see. With a willpower spend.
Okay.
Maybe. Hey.
Okay, that means that is 2 successes since you spent willpower. So you twitch and move and then throw your hands forward and the crystal cracks and breaks, and it feels like it wants to shatter too. And as it does, those crystalline shards go everywhere, including into both of the workers that were trying to deal with it. It doesn't look like it's killed them, but both of them are kind of stumbling back like someone just shattered glass in their face. Now, what's worse than that is a large one of those just went right into that tube with that strange, crackly, veiny looking black something that's been connected to your pod. And it begins to thrum and glow, and soon it's spreading outward like veins, first reaching its own glass, which then also shatters and then begins to cover the room. Before too long, that strange pattern begins to kind of weave into itself, like it's sewing itself into existence. But it's not really the sort of existence that it should have. The room begins to, the power starts to suck away from the lights and the equipment begins to malfunction, and soon this horrific looking thing begins to take form. And it is getting bigger and bigger, and those tentacle things are lashing out, and soon the room itself begins to more or less melt away. Whoops, that is the wrong music. My bad. All right.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so how do you want to react before the building as a whole goes into alarm?
I am going to puke on the floor. Bunch of demon maggots squirm away. I look in confusion and horror at this thing, and then covered in slime and nothing else. Going to try to run the fuck out of the room. I'm getting out of here.
All right, it doesn't seem to want to go after you straight away. It is much more interested in kind of destroying everything else around it. So you are able to get out the door, except it's not a door. It's a pile of sludge, and the frame around it is melting too. Before too long, the scientists themselves get kind of drawn into it. You hear a horrible scream, and one of them barely manages to hit a alarm button. Now, that means that Mason, that you hear that in your little security area, and a moment later, over the intercom, you hear first area slams itself open, and then lights start to light along the hallway in the direction of where that lab is. And again, it looked like a pretty normal, cheaply painted hallway before this, but your co-workers seem to be just as surprised, but they are hurriedly working to grab their better equipment.
Yeah. So, definitely hitting up that locker and getting on those, special anti-insanity goggles and the big rifles loaded with all kinds of murderous ammunition. And then we're going to presumably just storm down there like crazy red shirts.
Yeah, pretty much. So you begin to storm down towards the lab, and before too long, you realize that the lights are flickering. And I don't mean flickering inside where they are. I mean they have detached from the light source itself and are little balls in the air that are crackling like electricity that's arcing everywhere. The floor itself begins to split, and ahead you can see that same creature starting to crawl up from the basement lab that, well, you would have had to take stairs or something, you assume, but now it's pretty much just a hole in the floor. You can see the threat right there.
I'm gonna shoot the hell out of it.
Yes, so as you approach, your coworkers are just as fresh as you are, and they their hands are shaking as they raise the guns up, and they, despite their anti-insanity goggles, they just kind of lose it. They their fingers start to twitch, and then they drop the gun and run. You, however, manage to fire off a burst of bullets, which go right into its hide, skin. You're not quite sure what that gray stuff is that makes it up. Some of it's the building, and some of it's a black ooze, and some of it's this gray shell. And it's, whatever the case, the bullets go in, and then they come out breathed in green flame, and they fire back at each of you. You see both of your coworkers go down, and then you see a bullet come straight for you, and it lodges itself into your head. Except it doesn't. You, for a split second, see your life go by your eyes, but then instead of horrible pain, you see light everywhere. It envelops reality. It covers this thing up. You only see light, except within that light, which is all you can see, there's this brighter light that is sort of ahead of you, but also seemingly within reach, though you can't actually reach out to it. And you feel this just sort of aggression and assertion, and this feeling like you need to stop this thing. And then that light dissipates and then forms again from within you as you light up like a solar bonfire. So yeah, you are now a solar. And we will get back to you mechanically doing things in a moment, because Dolores, the mailroom was apparently right next to this lab.
Oh no.
You never knew that because you aren't the one who goes and delivers things to people yourself, at least most of the time, I assume. And you've never had to deliver something to the lab either way. But that thing is there, and, as it turns to fire unholy green bullets back at the first team, that special package you had delivered is knocked off the shelf and basically shatters open on the ground despite being cardboard, because in it were, bones, and they end up right at your feet. And you just feel, you feel something working through you. You feel like the world itself is against you. And right now, this creature, this horrible thing that has just melted the building around you, it is everything about reality that hates you. It's everything in the world that has ever been against you. And you just feel your entire fury filling you about this thing deciding that it's going to come here in your little realm, your little lair within the mailroom. And in fact, not only do you feel that exaltation working through you, for the sake of this scene, this building is counting as your lair, for the sake of any of your starting charms and whatnot that would benefit from that.
I see the bones, rather oh no, I need to put it back together, and then she grabs them, and that's how she exalts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so back to Henry for just a moment. That means as you're running out, you basically run up something that didn't look like it was going up, and now you're more or less face to face with two dead first team members and one that is glowing like the sun itself. And with that, I think we can officially go into actual combat. Yep. All right, so let me just throw in the creature onto the combat tracker. And, well,
Oh, quick question for you. So
Yes.
I know I was getting drained. Am I like down one essence or something?
no, it was more like the power that was in the chrysalis got
Okay.
sapped off, and it did horrible things it shouldn't, because you shouldn't be trying to drain off the excess energy of that.
I was just about to say, even the runoff.
Yeah.
Even the runoff is awful.
So like they were building a Dyson sphere around the imploding star that you are. So
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, let me go ahead and roll initiative on the tracker. Okay, Dolores. What would you like to do?
well, I think the employee manual covers something like that. At least pretty much active shooter drill. So everybody, take cover, take out your mandatory guns, and this is a weird thing.
Oh yeah, this is America.
Yeah.
Yes,
We are definitely in a
I assume.
Oh yeah, just to state that, because I realized it didn't actually say that yet for the sake of our viewers. We are in basically the greater Las Vegas area. This is a small medical facility at the outskirts of that to start in.
Which means there's a gun every 10 feet.
More or less, So yeah, go ahead, Dolores.
Okay. Do I have that firearms? Yes, it's my cast charm. So I'll spend 1 essence. And what does my excellency give me again?
I believe in your lair it's ability plus essence.
Ability plus essence. Okay, so I am rolling 3, 7. That will be 10, 11 dice.
Okie dokie.
What's the difficulty to hit?
I'm gonna call it 5 because this thing is huge as fuck right now.
Okay. Roll.
Okay, that is 7 successes. It is not going to dodge. So roll damage.
What's the count damage? Okay, hope it is like a 2 or 3 plus rollover. Was it?
The damage would be, the rating for your gun plus extra successes.
Please look up gun ratings.
We're gonna call it 2 instead of
2, okay,
looking it up.
So I'm rolling. So 7 successes. So that's 6.
That would be 8. Yeah.
8 difficulty 7.
Yes. No, 6 for damage.
6. Okay.
Well, there are no 6s, so that still looks fine.
Okay.
So, all right, let us roll its soak. Unfortunately, those bullets just kind of, like the first set of bullets, they just kind of sink into it. It doesn't seem particularly worried about it.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. All right, Henry.
Hi. So stumbling away from this thing, heaving, he's going to try to desperately pick up one of the guns from one of these dead first team members, whatever gun that is, and he's going to lean back and, while still kind of like prone on the floor, try to fire at this thing. What
Go
gun
for it.
do I have?
That would just be a assault rifle. Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
PX66F, Pentex manufacturer.
Okay. So just from the revised book, right? Exalt. In that
I
chart.
think that's the stats I use anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So difficulty 6, and I will also spend an essence.
Difficulty
as my-
5. Again, this thing is huge.
Oh,
You are firing at the broadside of a barn.
oh, okay. Yeah. So I'll spend an essence for my excellency.
Excellent.
As they use that awful demon power to shoot real good somehow.
Go for it.
All right, let's do it. Oh, 5. Up. Bam.
Alrighty. 3 successes, so 2 plus the rating for the gun.
It is 7 lethal.
Okay, so that means 9.
Oh god, sorry. Trying to sort through all these pages. I'm really sorry.
No problem.
Bam.
Okay, 3 successes, and it's soak.
Please be bad.
All right, you actually managed to get one of those bullets somewhere sensitive. It kind of lets out a more annoyed than horribly pained kind of screech, but, you know, it definitely sounds like you did something to it. You hit it in one of its myriad eyes that are popping up all over its flesh. You know, about 30% of those eyes are now looking towards you.
Oh, no.
All right. That makes it Mason's turn.
Okay. I think what I will do is I've already got the assault rifle in my hands, so I will spend an essence on the excellency, and I assume my anima is flaring at the moment because
Yeah, I'll give you the full anima flare.
right, and I believe the excellency adds my ability plus attribute for my cast,
Yes,
so
it basically doubles your base pool.
yep, and I'll shoot a 3-round burst, which raises the difficulty by 1, and I assume it's still the size of a barn, so
Yep. So that'll take it back to 6.
yeah, that's a lot of dice. All right, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
Show us how Dawn deals with the Nexus Crawler.
This is so.
Well, that's not quite as good as we would have hoped, but
Yeah,
Damn.
well, we'll see.
yep, go ahead and do the damage.
I assume it is a creature of darkness, however.
Yes, it is a creature of darkness.
All right, so actually do right or just roll really bad. Looks like it just rolled really bad. It ignores ones. I didn't roll any ones. I just rolled badly. Okay, and it looks like those are 7Ls, so that's I do a cast roll of I guess 9.
Yep. Alrighty, 2 successes. Do you have anything that's making this ag damage or anything?
Yeah, assuming it's a creature of darkness, yes. If not, no.
All right. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure spirits can still soak aggravated. So it is going to roll, but I'll just up the difficulty by 1 and call that good for now. Unfortunately, it's still able to soak your sun-wreathed bullets.
Well, I should have fired more.
Yeah.
Clearly, the solution is more bullets.
More bullets.
I mean, it does seem to be taking some bit of damage, at least from what Henry did, so it can be hurt. You know that. And now it is its turn. So, no. What's funny is Nexus Crawlers have their lowest attribute is willpower, which they use for everything, so it's like, why give them 10s in everything except their most important roll? That being said, it is going to warp reality beneath all of you to try and make the ground you're standing on turn into burning acid.
Oh.
I don't
So,
like that.
Yeah. For future turns, we didn't think about it this time, but for future turns, the way multiple actions work is you need to declare that you are doing multiple actions, but not what they are. And then that basically gives you a penalty for each successive action. That being said, I'm just going to let you all roll to dodge out of the way this time, assuming it succeeds. Alrighty. So that is 1 success on its part, so all of you can roll to dodge, which would be Dex plus Athletics.
Okay. Well, yes, I dig athletics. Yes.
Okay, you're definitely fine.
What's the difficulty?
6.
I think I did it.
Okay, you are all good. So yeah,
This is very good.
So yeah, you notice this thing, basically some of those tendrils that keep forming and dissolving, one of them basically lashes near the floor by each of you, and a moment later the floor is turning into acid, but you all notice that before it is actually acid and get out of the way. So, you're safe for now. Dolores, it is your turn again.
Oh boy, I guess I'll just crawl to my desk and see what charms do I have. I don't think I took anything combat related other than blameless victim posture, which might as well activate just for the heck of it. So I spent 1 essence, and I roll manipulation at something difficulty 4. Anyone who witness whose perception is lower than my successes believes that the fight, that whatever I'm fighting started the fight, and it did so without justifiable provocation.
Well, I doubt anyone was going to blame you for the Nexus Crawler anyway, but,
Might as well.
Feel free. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Honestly, the mailroom is always my first go-to when I see evil spirits.
Yeah, that is fair. That is definitely fair.
This is the future. It's why I said the future. 5/5. Okay. So, Castro of difficulty 4. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
I feel perception lower than 4. Obviously, that the creature started it.
Right. So that's, I mean, I imagine most lookers on were already assuming it was at fault, but for sure no one's going to think you were responsible for the thing being created at
My
the very
partner
least.
takes over.
Yeah.
Oh no. It's going to duck my pay.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You are all basically working from instinct right now. You all know what charms you have on some level, but it's all like reflex, like putting your hands up in front of your face kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Suboptimal.
Okay. So, Henry, it is your turn.
I am going to stumble away from the acid just in time, get behind a wall, look over and start to get some realization like, oh, hey, isn't that Dolores? Is that her name? I think. Then there's this guy. I don't know the security guys. But
You've probably seen him
glowing.
around, yeah.
He's glowing, and he's just going to shout, what the f*** is going on? And then he's going to turn around the corner and continue shooting.
Sounds good. Are you saving, or are you doing multiple actions in case it does more things at you?
I think I am now technically trying to dodge because I'm trying to hide behind cover and stuff, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that means your first action is at +1 difficulty and -1 dice. So,
Dang.
not a huge deal because you already had -1 difficulty, because it's huge.
I'm also going to spend a willpower on this.
Go for it.
Because, fuck it. I want to live.
I don't blame you. Okay.
Oh, baby.
4 successes. So,
5.
oh, yes, because...
Willpower.
Yes. Okay, so 4 plus your gun's damage rating.
Okay, so 11. Please hurt good.
Okay. So 2 successes. Well, let us see how well it soaks. Wow, it's just... This thing does not want to be hurt. I was assuming, like, Exalt pools will easily get past its lowest score, but...
We all look towards the Dawn cast, please.
Yes. Dawncast, it is your turn.
How many essence can I go through a turn?
Essence 1, I think 1 normally, and 2 if you're flaring.
And I'm pretty sure we're flaring.
Yes, you are all flaring because you just exalted. I know technically Dolores doesn't quite work that way, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so I will pump, I guess, 1 into firearms. Essence 1.
Yeah,
or is it
it's
still going.
It's still going. It's essence +1 rounds, if I recall.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Great. Then I will pump 2 into Iron Skin concentration and lower my silk difficulties by 2, and I'll add my stamina to my silk rolls. And then I will, I guess, 3-round versus things. I don't want to drain the clip just yet.
Mhm.
See how it goes with 15 dice.
Go for it. Okay. So 6 plus damage rating.
Yep, that's 13.
Wow, these are just
Heck.
not the best.
What?
Wait, did you set your difficulty right?
5?
Yeah, did you set
know
your
what?
difficulty
Oh my
right?
god. Yeah, nope. That's fixed.
Okay, well, let's count it manually then. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
Okay,
There
so
we
it
go.
needs to soak 7. That is much more reasonable.
Much more reasonably.
And at +1 difficulty or whatever, because it's ag.
Oh, right. Well, it doesn't look like that mattered, so it takes 5 damage. Okay, so you are just covered in this holy energy, and you unload at it again, and this time all of the bullets seem to, collect at the same place, what is currently its head, and they just basically tear a hole through it, and the hole tries to reform, but that glowing solar energy is like burning outward instead of allowing it to heal itself.
Yes, and then I'll shout at the guy who's shouting, "What the fuck?" that it's a demon and you should shoot it.
Why did that remove its...
I'm shooting!
Why did that just change its token? Not that it matters. All right, so yeah, it is very angry now, and now its attention is pretty much going to be directly on the Dawncast, because you're the one who just did the majority of the damage it's taken. So
Yeah.
It's gonna do a pretty normal attack. So here's its willpower. Wow. And it fails. So it basically lashes out at you with its tentacles, and none of them can seem to connect. It's getting frustrated now. It thinks all of you are made of flesh, and flesh should be dissolved, and it's just not happy with how you all refuse to be dissolved. Dolores, your turn.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just, hide behind some cover and, continue shooting at it with my little pistol. And then I'll reserve an action for some dodge, possibly.
Okay.
That ups my difficulty, right?
Yep, so you're back to 6, basically.
Up to 6.
And you lose 1 die, but not a huge deal.
Okay. Now 1 die roll. That's
Okay.
3 successes.
Okay.
Damage on a pistol you looked up, that was 4, so that's 6 damage. Yeah. 3 successes.
Okay. And it's going to attempt to soak.
Aha.
I'm sorry, but yeah,
That's fine. That's fine.
yeah. You fire a few more bullets, and they look like they're starting to get through, but they don't quite catch its attention yet.
Pew, pew.
Yeah. Henry.
So quick question. Am I still near the body of one of those first team guys?
Yeah, you're like around the corner, but there are corners everywhere because the building is slowly melting, so yeah. You
Makes
can be
sense.
close to one.
I am going to pick up after the big glowing sun guy yells at me to keep shooting. I'm going to think about doing that for a second and then notice, I don't know if these guys have like grenades or something.
Yeah, they probably have a grenade. If they picked up all their best equipment, which they would have.
I am going to say fuck it and run over to that guy's belt, grab a grenade, and like pull the pin as I'm pulling it out, and just shout out, "Eat that fucker!" And just try to toss it into his big glowing like sun burning hole.
Sounds good.
How is that? What roll is that?
The roll would just be Dex plus Athletics, I'm pretty sure, for thrown stuff.
Okay.
As I
got it.
slowly look for grenade mechanics. think he put some in the revised edition.
I don't see one on here, but I'm sure it's...
Yeah, it's not on the main chart, I'm sure. Oh, I don't see. All right, well, make the roll, and I will figure it out.
Okay, I'm going to spend a willpower on this, because.
Yeah.
All right. Come on.
Okay, 2 successes. All right. Since you're basically aiming at, I imagine, any part of it that will hold a grenade without it just bouncing off, why don't you roll, I don't know, let's say 10 dice, and I will also give it a penalty to its soak.
Do that. Bam!
Look at those dice go.
Come on.
Okay, 4 successes. All right. For it to soak a grenade that's partly inside of it, I will make that difficulty 8. Okay, so yes, you throw a grenade and it kind of lodges partly into that hole that the Dawncast just made, and before it can really do anything, like, you see a bunch of eyes look in that direction, and then it explodes and that hole rips outward and its head basically splits in half, which is not lethal to it, but it is also looking worse for wear. This thing is, like, parts of it, it itself isn't exactly one solid form, but where before all of its parts seem to take specific shapes and forms, they're all kind of like unraveling and lashing out wildly. It's getting close to, well, something. Mason.
All right. I guess I will. My excellency has run out, so I will throw another essence into that, leaving me with 6. And then, seeing that it seems to be injured, I will open the throttle on this assault rifle and just empty the clip into it using the full auto mechanic, which makes my difficulty into 7.
Go for it.
But adds 10 dice.
Whoa.
Sounds good.
Leaving me with Shadowrun dice pool.
My God.
Okay, 7
Intense.
successes.
All right. So that would be, I guess, 13 damage again.
Go for it.
Oh, you know what? I should just make this.
Eight. Wow.
Okay, 8 successes. It's probably not going to be able to do much to that, especially with the difficulty raise, but let's see what it can do. Okay. So, you unload a bunch of glowing, holy bullets into this thing, both into that first hole that's already split apart and into the eyes, which cause bits of its tentacles to fall apart, and then across its chest, which causes half of it to dissolve from inside out, and it lets out this, just horrific kind of screech, and then it burns up and bubbles, and then there's just basically an explosion as it kind of turns into nothing, leaving you, in a completely ruined building with a lot of dead people, except for a few stragglers that got away who are probably far away by now, and you 3, who are all glowing or otherwise odd at the moment.
Yeah, I'll trigger ghost eating technique. I think that counts as slain.
Oh, sorry, you have ghost eating technique, you said?
Yes.
Okay. I do not remember how that works in this
I roll
game.
with what's it called, DC 6, and if I succeed, I get 3 essence, and he can't come back from the dead ever.
Sounds good.
Bobby.
Hooray! I am somewhat less depleted.
Yeah.
That's always good. All right.
So now we're standing around in this big pile of rubble, holding a smoking gun.
Yep.
What? What is going on? What is going on? I'm just gonna slump up against the wall again, covered in slime, basically naked, just holding a gun. Not crying, but almost.
Yeah, Mason is reloading.
I don't know what this was, but it's such a big mess to clean up now.
Yeah.
Shuffling the mail that's halfway on fire, melting, and so on, and start rescuing whatever she can.
Well, at least she's adamant about doing her job.
She knows she has to. No matter what situation, mail needs to get delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody on the radio? Also, why am I on fire?
Are you on fire?
Yeah,
So yeah,
you are kind of on fire.
You get no immediate response from the radio, but you do hear a siren in the distance, and it's not like a police siren. It's like one of those weird private kinds of sirens that you've probably heard before during your training, Mason.
Oh no, it's a cleanup crew. Everybody put their hand behind their back and...
Oh, I guess this is the end. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, well, we won with horrible casualties. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's not a hideous thing I've seen before. I've seen some weird shit, but I haven't seen shit like that.
Yeah.
You've seen weird shit. What are you talking about?
If you want to roll occult to see how much you would know about that, you can feel free.
Yeah, sure. What attribute apply?
Intelligence. Because, you've gotten all sorts of, random tidbits here and there, but who knows if you specifically heard of this thing. Okay, 1 success. You've probably heard stories about, essentially creatures that you don't want to get involved with, that you've seen or you've heard rumors that Pentex might use them when they go ground zero on someone, but that's just rumors, spoken among the cadets and whatnot. But the way they describe them kind of matches the horrific, varying, warping nature of this thing.
Right, like horrible xenomorph things.
Yeah.
Because Pentex always uses science terms. It's like, oh, it's not supernatural.
It's a reality deviant.
It's nuts. It's our.
They're not quite technocracy, but
yeah, technocracy.
Yeah, it's like our amazing genetic technology allows us to create xenomorphs or whatever.
Right.
Totally not sus.
But yeah, it's something that crawls through the nexus of reality, they would say.
Ugh. Well, now it's dead, and it ain't coming back.
Yeah. Just a note, just to comment on Exalted versus World of Darkness, I just want to, bring some attention to Nexus Crawler was your introductory enemy.
Yes.
Which is usually like this is the worst worm creature you can throw at your werewolves kind of thing.
Oops, no damage taken.
Right?
Well, it did miss. It didn't actually, it tried to punch me and failed.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, the Nexus Crawler is horribly designed. It's not actually got the dice and stuff to do what it's supposed to.
Right. This is the baby Nexus Crawler out of the book. If you're going to send us against a grown up,
right,
we'll be more careful.
Oh yeah, I would.
Also, isn't the Infernal also on fire?
Yes, and is in a green, silvery, or whatever way Fizz is.
Yeah, so why are you on fire, and why is the fire the same thing as I look at the dead bodies next to me of my 2 coworkers, I guess, and are they also burning with green flame, but not as healthy?
They're basically have green burns that worked through them and melted them from the inside out, and they basically have holes in them that the fire worked through. There's probably some green embers, but it's mostly out by now.
Well, it's the same color as you, so what the hell?
I'm on fire? Oh shit, I'm on fire. Oh god. It doesn't hurt though. Look, man, I don't know what the fuck's going on, okay? I was like really sick and I'm still not sure this isn't just a weird dream.
That it is not. I can guarantee you that.
No, that's it's not what oh shit, I need pants. Oh, fuck.
Yes, you do need pants. I recommend pants.
There are probably some semi-intact pants here and there among the deceased.
Okay, I will very begrudgingly take off one of those pants and put on some fucking pants. And then also start looking
at like, I'll point him at like a personal locker instead. Like, have you considered?
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
like, you don't need to rock them off dead bodies.
He's
I don't know, man.
Yeah. You have...
I'll go to a locker, I'll pick up a spare uniform and just fucking put it on, even though I'm still covered in slime, so it gets all wet and gross. At least I'm covered.
Now, unfortunately, because of the way reality was warped, you are wearing shorts now. The rest of the pants were melted into the locker.
Oh, okay. Shit. Fuck.
I'll maybe hand you a towel.
Oh, thanks.
So what the hell happened to you? You're both on fire and covered in slime.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. I was sick and then I woke up. Okay, hold on. I woke up in okay, you know the movie Aliens?
I'm familiar.
Yeah, you know that thing where the alien like pops out of and it face hugs you? It was like that, but also crystal and awful. And then someone was poking some shit in there, and there was a tube, and that thing was in it, and I had to get the hell out of there. And that's basically all I remember. I was running down the hall after that. And then I met you guys.
Sounds like you need a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm kind of new here. Does this happen often? Is this like a regular thing?
No,
this doesn't happen often, but sometimes it happens. I mean, have you read the employee manual? You prepare for anything?
I'm pretty sure. Well, there are some appendices that not everybody gets to read, but sure. Ugh, okay. I'll try the radio again.
All right. As you try the radio that time, you do get, a kind of scrambled voice in, basically asking for, your code name.
Yeah, I'll probably be like, my code name is, red shirt number 3. And,
yeah.
But the situation is clear. There's some kind of lab accident. Minimal casualties. It says the employee handbook, anything less than 150 is minimal.
Yeah, and that's probably about the number of people that are here total. So,
yeah.
So yeah, they note that and say, cleanup crew incoming. Make sure to, more or less restrain anyone that's still there. Keep them from running off randomly or whatnot. Of course, by this point, anyone that's not you all has either died or gotten so far away.
Is the floor still acid? Or did that stop when the thing died?
That area is still acid. It didn't turn like the entire floor into acid. It was more like you've got a few pools of acid among the office now.
Melting through the floor.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't seem to be melting the floor around it. It's like it's meant to be there. Or maybe it was meant to not melt the floor. The floor just turned into that acid.
Wow. I'm like, that's some interesting shit.
Yeah, don't touch that.
I wasn't planning to.
Okay.
So you're supposed to handcuff us or something?
Just keep you there, basically.
Restrain, whoever's left.
just they just want you to give statements as usual.
Mm-hmm.
They probably won't liquidate you.
What?
They don't do that, right?
Liquidate? What the? You liquidate assets? What the hell are you talking about?
Right. Yes, you saw the employee handbook, right?
No, lethal
No.
termination.
They did not see the same employee handbook you saw.
I didn't read it.
Well, rule number 1: always read the handbook.
Fuck's sake. Look, I'm the IT guy. Okay, maybe that's a little downplaying a little, but I'm the IT guy. Okay, so like I don't know what any of this is. I'm not interested in being arrested, liquidated, whatever the hell is going on here. I was like, I think kidnapped in my apartment or something after I passed out. That must be what happened.
You do work here though, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay then. I mean, just hang around and tell them what happened, ? And it'll probably be fine. I mean, so rumor has it that they use these things to take out nests of hideous beasts. So we killed it, which is, probably promotion worthy.
Wait,
Except that it was really expensive.
damage to damage to company property. That's not good.
Hold on. You're telling me they try to make these things?
I mean, not my area, but the rumor is that they either make them or capture them and sick them on bad guys.
Okay. Sure. All right. Sure. You know what? All right. Let's just.
They're like.
I don't know what the fuck
there's
else to do.
Cutting edge pharmaceutical stuff going on here and genetic manipulation. They're like some kind of monster.
Well,
Henry, why don't
doing something?
Henry, why don't you roll me alertness, perception, or wits?
Fuck. Oh god. Oh shit. Perception or wits? You're a saint. Okay. Alertness? Oh no, I don't have that.
Then roll me intelligence or wits.
All right. Let's do it.
I think it's -1 if you lack the talent.
It's a talent, so it's +1 difficulty, I believe. However, that doesn't matter. So Henry, you notice that like in the crater lab you came from, one of the computers still seems to be intact. It is kind of like wedged into a wall, and it was not a wall computer before, but it's on.
I'm gonna, as I notice that, I'm gonna look back at the big glowing guy with a gun, and then look back at the computer, and I guess maybe like the destroyed infrastructure in front of me to get to it. I'm just gonna say, hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back. And I'm gonna try to avoid the pools of acid to get to that computer.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you can do that without any particular trouble, assuming you take your time.
I definitely take my time. I don't want to trip in the acid.
All right. And you note that it is logged in already. It's just wherever it was before, it's there. There's a mouse hanging off the wall. You could probably, like, the wire is wedged into the wall, but you could use the mouse there. It's like responding. You just have to use it vertically.
Okay. Yeah, I will test like the inputs just to make sure it all works. And then I'm to start peeking around very, very quickly, faster than even I should normally be able to, because I'm spending essence.
Alrighty.
My cast mark, whatever that might look like, I haven't decided yet, flickers very, very briefly, but I don't notice that.
Okay. Well, why don't you roll me a look through computers check to see how much you can find?
Maybe like intelligence and computer?
That sounds good to me.
Oh, we didn't say the difficulty, sorry.
6.
All right.
It's already logged
8
in.
successes.
So. Okay. So, yeah, you start to work through the computer far too quickly for a human brain to normally be able to process everything. You open a document and then you're done with it before like anyone else would even register that it's filling the screen, that kind of thing. And you are able to find the logs of them experimenting on you. What you're able to gather is that they, whatever they started with wasn't this horrible creature that came at you. They had, they use some scientific term for a bane, not quite dimensional entity because that's technocracy, but something along the lines of an extra spatial creature kind of thing, and that they're basically trying to empower it because of all of the strange energy that was emanating off of your chrysalis. You find logs that they did indeed, they sent someone over to check on you, not out of the goodness of their hearts so much as just, hey, we need him here to do IT shit. What the fuck is going on? And they found that there and basically started experimenting, found that energy pretty quickly that was, just kind of like lapping off of it in waves, and they found a way to interface with it and to try and channel it into that creature. And well, they have the entry open to see how that went. And well, you know how well that went.
So is there evidence in here that they literally are talking about like, okay, he has been successfully bane poisoned. Oh, when we retrieved him, he seemed real weird. Like that kind of thing?
Oh, okay. Like, opening other stuff relating to you specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, with that many successes, you're able to go into your file, figure out where they keep the redacted info, go through that, find the password that was hidden over in these notes over here and put them in there, do the hacking minigame where you connect lines together and and then opened it up and, you find that they were indeed testing some strange quote-unquote medications on you to see if you could be made a better host for... Actually, it was probably this bane here that they were going to stick into you once they finished experimenting on it and seeing what they could do. Obviously, they weren't using that crystal on it to start with. They were testing other things on it, but when you disappeared, they decided to go another route. But yeah, the original plan was indeed to turn you into a Fomori.
Oh, God. Okay. So clear evidence that they were trying to do some weird-ass experiments on me, and then this shit happened. Yep. Okay. Screenshots of this, not the documents. I'm not taking the documents anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And where do you put those screenshots?
Great question. I don't know if I would have. I definitely wouldn't have one.
Save the local file. Take the hard drive out.
There we go. Thank you. You're smart. You know about computers.
Yes.
I'm literally going to do exactly that.
And in character, yes, you would know how to do that without any issue.
Yes.
Except the computer is indeed still embedded into the wall. So how are you going to get at the hard drive? Are you going to figure out some way to do it carefully? Are you going to just smash through the computer and rip the hard drive out? Or what are you going to do here?
If I take a look at it, and obviously I have pretty good knowledge of computers with my Technology 5, mm-hmm. I have no problem destroying the computer. And I have I have no problem destroying the computer if it means I can get the hard drive intact.
Okay.
I'll figure, well, the room looks fucked up, so they probably won't notice.
Okay, then yeah. You would have a nice dice for a basic success in getting it out without giving a shit about the computer as a whole. So yeah, you get the front off, or after turning it off so you don't shock yourself. You get the front off, you pull some parts out of the way that are never going to be usable again, and you get the power supply out of the way, and then you pull the hard drive from its cabling.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Done in like 5 minutes. And then I'm going to I'm going to carefully try to go back up the ruined stairs. And say to the security guy, who I haven't caught the name of yet, hey, yeah, so no, whatever, I don't know what the fuck they're telling you. This is just like the shit that I was. Oh, you don't know about that. Look, this is some bad shit. They literally like drugged me and kidnapped me. I'm not talking to them. You can do whatever you're gonna do. I'm gonna head back to my apartment, try to figure things the fuck out, and just pretend I wasn't here. I don't know. Call the cops.
Looks like we have a runner. Time to football tackle him.
You really should stay. I mean, they
I
do.
insist.
If you check your employee manual, it does say you can receive genetic upgrades as part of your employment package.
Oh yeah, did that look like a good genetic upgrade over there? Is that what you want to look like?
At this point in the middle of your conversation, you see one of those, typical black van type things is with a personal yellow siren thing is coming down the road. It's now or never to get out of here. So are you going to let him go or not?
I mean, I'll just tell them that you should really stay. Like, they know, it's not like they don't know where you live.
Ah, fuck.
But they don't necessarily know it was him in the crystal.
Ah, shit.
Except
well,
they
it
went
was
looking
my
for him 'cause
apartment.
They went looking for the IT guy. They were looking for the IT guy and found your chrysalis. So
yeah, no, they could probably put two and two together.
Okay.
Okay, so instead, what I'm going to do, as I realize that, I'm going to find a place to hide this hard drive.
All right, give me something roll for finding a good place to hide.
Something?
Wits alertness or wits plus stealth, or basically, if you can justify it, I'll say go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna go with wits and subterfuge. That works.
Sounds good.
You're in the mailroom. Mail it to yourself.
Mail it to myself. Thank you. That's so good. What difficulty?
7 because you're doing it in a hurry.
Shit. Okay, I'm gonna spend another willpower on this. God damn. This is a stressful day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So many spoons.
So many spoons.
Mm-hmm.
4 successes.
Okay, 4
Yes.
successes. So yeah, you're able to find something that actually was already meant to mail to you. It was like, a part you ordered and it's partly open, so you could probably just shove it in there and you'll get it.
Seal it up.
Yep.
I'll briefly show it to Dolores, like, yes, I look good, yeah.
Yeah, it looks fine.
All right, I gotta put it in the right fucking slot and just get away from it like I wasn't, and then just try to look casual really badly.
All right.
It's not a casual day. It's fine.
Yeah, you'll probably look suspicious if you act casual.
Although, ironically, Mason, who also triggered his essence renewal, it looks like, because it's defeat a supernatural opponent, and that sure was, is totally refreshed and looks fine.
Nice.
Although my helmet might be cracked.
I mean, yeah, your helmet did, the bullet went right through it, which might actually be suspicious if you keep that on because there is no hole in your head.
Yeah, I'm definitely throwing that away.
Okay, so yeah, the van slowly pulls up and the siren kind of does the like blip as it turns off, and the driver comes out and the door opens and there's a bunch of them. They all have the full setup with, the guns and grenades and the goggles, just in case, because, when they got the alert, it was still in the midst of everything. We're going to call this a new scene. So you guys actually stop glowing just about as they get there.
I think we stopped glowing after like 3 minutes because like 3 times essence rating.
Yes. I couldn't remember if it was
out the computer stuff, probably.
Yeah. So, they come out and they're led by a woman who is about twice the size of, most women, pretty muscular. She's got like a really short, like buzzed blonde hair. She walks over to Mason and basically says, so, what the hell happened here?
Looks like one of the eggheads was cooking up
Yeah.
something really nasty in the basement. They maybe shouldn't have been doing, violating procedure, and it got loose, and now there's a lot of death claims.
Yeah. And while you're talking to her, both Dolores and Henry, you're more or less like, you're not restrained, but you're like told to like sit down, and they've got a gun not aimed at you, but it's like, you know, lowered in the way where it's a split second thing to raise it and shoot you if they need to, that kind of deal.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm still keeping hold of mine because there could be more releases at any second.
Right.
The reason the first thing I do is reload.
Yeah. I mean, they don't fault you for having your weapon ready too.
Yeah.
So yeah, she
I'll like describe the hideous creature, like, yeah, it's like, 12 feet tall, and watch through the pools of acid that it made.
yeah, she kind of takes a deep breath, and actually, do you have awareness at all?
I definitely do, yes.
Looks like you do. Why don't you roll me a perception awareness?
All right, I have is it DC 6?
Yep.
2 hits.
Okay. So you get you probably never had awareness before. So all you really know is all of a sudden you can kind of just, it's sort of like a hair on the back of your neck kind of feeling, and kind of like a gut feeling, and kind of like a supernatural warmth you never had before, all rolled into one. That just when she takes a breath and looks at you, there's something about her. You imagine, you can probably guess she got some of the quote unquote genetic upgrades.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not too surprising to look at her, but
Right.
yeah, she slowly nods and turns to one of the others and, basically repeats what you said and say, send that back to headquarters, blah, blah, blah. Note that down. And then she tells another one to get a sweep going, cordon off the area, and then tells another to take the van and, get the area blocked off to at least 2-block radius and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, right, well, what about these two? What can you tell us about them? How did they survive?
I'm not sure how any of us survived, really. It must have been an accident, but there was, it was throwing around green fire stuff, but it didn't burn everyone properly. It seemed like it was disoriented, perhaps. I guess like Dolores, like the mailroom lady, I just sort of shrug and he just kind of took cover, and the tech lost his pants, but picked up an assault rifle and started shooting it full of holes, which helped.
Yeah, they kind of give Dolores a glance, and it's like, nah, she obviously had nothing to do with this. She's just a lucky victim, clearly. I know your charm doesn't actually last that long, but yeah, I'm gonna let it expand.
For onlookers,
right? We're gonna let it expand because you're still going off of the exaltation high to an extent. So yeah, they don't blame you. You're clearly just a good mailroom worker. They do, however, kind of look to Henry like, since when do our RT guys have firearms training?
This is Nevada. Everybody has firearms training.
Kind of.
But then I look expectantly at Henry.
Yeah. They still kind of, look to him for the answer.
And subterfuge.
Oh, I don't need to lie. My dad was a gun nut. So kind of was all about that. It's been a while though. Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a luck die for a thing.
Okay.
2. It's not a 1. Okay, so they accept what you said. Like, yeah, all right, whatever. Tech guy had some training, got lucky. Apparently, if anyone was going to survive, it had to be someone random, that kind of thing. They kind of say like, all right, one of them lowers his gun, takes out a tablet and like, all right, why don't you give us your version of what happened, your name, that kind of stuff, to both Henry and Dolores.
God, what do I tell them?
I don't know. What do you tell them?
What do you tell them?
Oh man, I'm gonna try to stick as close to the truth as I can, I guess. I woke up in the wherever that monster was. I tried to get out of there. Tried to shoot at
You're
it.
sleeping your job.
Yeah, that's basically what he asked. Like, wait, you woke up?
Yeah, I haven't been feeling good lately.
He kind of like
My bad.
he opens up your profile and scrolls through like, oh, I see. Yeah, sounds right. And he goes back to the, note app. Well, the report app, more likely, is the better way to put it. Excuse me. All right. Well, we're gonna need to get this area cleaned up, and well, there's probably going to be a bit of follow-up. We're going to have to ask you all to sign our secondary non-disclosure agreement. You have one for your job, but this one is for circumstances like this. It better covers the situation. And he, opens something up and hands the tablet to you to basically finger sign, both Dolores and Henry.
Already.
Yeah.
NDA covered a lot more than theirs.
Yeah.
I'll sign.
Might as well.
Yep.
Need to keep this job.
Yeah. The first team, of course, already has the We Fought 'em Demon NDA, so that's already covered. All right, they get that in, they get your information. We're like, all right, take the, we'll confirm this with the higher ups, but the typical thing is to take a week off, and you'll probably be called for additional information. And as long as there's no problem, you don't break your NDA, we'll find you another place to work soon.
One of the few times you get paid, time off.
Yeah. It's your standard demon attack week off vacation.
Jesus Christ.
You can probably get an extra day if a doctor tells you that, you're still not. Don't tell the doctor.
Right. They have Pentex doctors for that.
Right. You can probably see one of the Pentex doctors. Or, one of the Magadon doctors. The two of you who aren't on a first team don't really know about the wider Pentex because you're just Magadon, whereas the first team, you don't know the extent of where Pentex goes, but you work for Pentex, and the company you're stationed at, works with Pentex. So,
right.
You have Pentex first team doctors, they have the Magadon doctors.
Hard to say which is worse. Better, rather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends on the situation. This situation, I'm not sure there's a good option.
Yeah. Well, I feel great, so I'm going to enjoy my week off, I guess. I think I'll take my two... Well, I don't really know Dolores that well. I hadn't said much, but we should feel like a drink. What do you feel like?
It's a good idea.
Stay probably. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Right.
I'll thank the opposite lady whose name I didn't catch.
She doesn't give it if you don't ask.
Not gonna. This isn't the kind of place you ask for names too often.
Right.
Not in the first week.
Less you know is generally a better way to go.
Yeah. All right, and then I don't want to stay here any longer than I have to. It's probably radioactive, so off I go.
Sounds good. So, you can all go off. There's obviously plenty of places to drink if you head further into, Vegas proper.
Yes.
So
they
yeah.
collect my, like, first team gear though?
Oh yeah, they. Well, I mean, they. Yeah, I guess normally you'd keep it in the locker, and well, the locker is in 10 different places right now. So yeah, they just have you turn it in and say, they'll wherever you get assigned, they'll have new equipment for you.
Yeah. And well, that was an exciting first week, I say. And PTO already.
Yeah. Could be worse, yeah.
And
It could be melted in a pool of acid. That would definitely be worse.
That would be worse.
I will say that this job is more challenging than I thought it would be.
Jesus Christ.
So,
all right, where do you want to go from here, guys?
I gotta change clothes.
yeah, we probably don't want to go to the bar in short,
I
but
meant more like out of character.
Oh yeah, sure.
Do you want to be wrapping this, or do you want to continue?
Right. Well, I figure out of character, I was going to say, basically, what do you want to do now and what do you want to do for the week you have off? And, next time we'll pick up with more blatant hooks. But if there are things you want to do now, you can definitely do things now.
I think I
so,
have anything planned for the moment.
yeah, probably what Mason will do is like consult with his mentor about this sort of thing. Like
Dolores will have hard time sleeping in her apartment now that it doesn't feel home.
Right.
So now that she's a hard eater.
Yep.
That's a good point. I really don't know what Henry would. Oh, I do. He would probably be obsessing over what he found in that hard drive, and try to do more of that digging that got him in trouble and demoted in the first place.
Sounds good. Like, do you want to just dig through the hard drive during your time off? See what you can find?
Yeah, and see if I can find, send tiny little tidbits to that journalist I used to work with, just to see if I could kind of start trying to entice him back. Like, hey, look, I got real thing now. No, I promise it won't just disappear like last time. Really.
I won't be disappeared this time.
Yeah.
Probably. All right. Yeah. Well, why don't you give me some more computer digging rolls?
Oh, okay.
Just to see exactly how much is on there and how much you can decrypt.
Sure.
Gotta love that pile of dice.
Many dice.
14 successes. That's all. All right. So while glowing in your apartment, I know one isn't actually enough to make you glow, but so yeah, while in your apartment or wherever you actually try to dig through this stuff, you do indeed, go back through your stuff. You find that you were indeed demoted because you were starting to find odd stuff, and they had people keeping an eye on you, and they actually had plans to once Mason got going a bit more, he was going to be more or less hovering over you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Basically they were purposely keeping you on board to keep you close. They didn't actually want to kill you because you were useful. And, they had other plans, as mentioned, about filling you with Banes, and because, Fomori, there are ways to control them too. Let's see, what else could you find out? Do you
we
have...
can leave it open-ended if you don't have anything in mind or whatever.
There's a bunch of things that could be there. I'm just like, do you have any occult? I guess I could check.
I do. I have occult too.
Okay, why don't you roll me occult real quick too?
Occult and intelligence or something else?
Occult plus intelligence or wits, whichever is better for you.
Okay. And what difficulty?
6. Basically, you're just parsing weird stuff among your research.
Doing the things I'm real good at. 9 successes!
All right, yeah. So, you were going to basically be turned into a Fomori that would then be experimented on to kind of link to the computer systems, like physically turn you into a computer, that kind of thing, like an organic computer. So you probably don't want to go back to work normally, or at least you probably want to figure out how to deal with that, or keep an eye on what exactly they plan on, because obviously you don't know what they're going to want to do after the weird shit just happened. You're going to need but with that many
figure that out.
With that many successes, if you get back into a connected Pentex computer, you probably have, passwords and decryption keys that people stored inside there as like a backup, if you do it quick enough that they haven't updated everything yet. And even if they have, there's always some like loose end you might be able to get into with Exalt level hacking, but up to you if you want to try to do that like during the week, find some place to do that, or if you want to like wait until you're actually inside again.
I think it would be a good idea for me to try to, at the very least, get a backdoor into the secret depths of the Magadon network.
Okay. So,
God damn it, I'm supposed to be the guy running this thing, and they're not even telling me parts of it.
So, do you want to like set up something like use your network and the key that's already there to set something up in the Magadon network, like via your usual virtual private network connection, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Basically, I want a way to slip in and like pick up new info if needed, or to continue searching without it like being traced back to me. Because I'm doing this.
Sounds good. I'm going to make you roll one more time just to see how secure that back door itself is.
What's the difficulty?
We're going to call that 8 because you're actually hooking into the real system now. Look at all those lovely dice.
Yeah, that system can get fucked.
And the fun thing is, don't you like, Infernals get their essence back each day, right? Or get like a couple each day.
That's correct. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
So, this is happening over the course of a week. You'll be fine by the time you get back. Yeah. So, like the first day might have been you checking into stuff. The second day might be you making your hooks. So yeah, with 7 successes, you are pretty sure there's no way this will be traced back to you. You've hooked into someone else's account, you've hooked into your own, you've found ways to mix it up so what you're doing on your account won't look like your account. It'll be spread across 5 other accounts and so on. And even if they delete your account, you then have a backdoor into this other account that's not used for many things, but it can be. It's got really high permissions, that kind of stuff. So yeah, you're pretty well set. That at least at the level your office had access to, you'll be able to continually have access no matter what, I would say.
Perfect.
All right. Does anyone else want to be doing things during their vacation?
So I'm not sure how familiar you are with my sheet, but I have a mentor who's my old boss, who is an Akashic recruiter. So I was probably going to go back there for the week, since that's my hobby / previous job, and probably he'll get me to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely into weird spiritual stuff. I probably he doesn't wear like a sign that says wizard on his head or anything, but
right.
He's you sign an NDA that mostly means don't go public. You can still, like they say, don't talk to anyone about this, but everybody does.
Yeah, exactly. They'd keep an eye on like your wife if you had one, but they're probably not gonna question everyone you've ever bought a hot dog from or taken kung fu lessons with.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your mentor?
So my mentor's American name is Kevin. He is doubtless from China, like an actual immigrant. Although he's, been living in America for a few years. He runs this dojo, which is probably part of a larger franchise that sort of recruits promising people. I mean, they do teach real kung fu, but they also like, you can learn the real kung fu if you're devoted enough. And so, people might awaken as linear mages or actual mages eventually, kind of deal.
Makes
Sort of
sense.
ease you into their Akashic paradigm.
Okay. So with that being said, this looks like the right amount of dice. Okay, so when you go to visit your mentor, pretty much as soon as you get there, he goes to greet you and then like pauses a moment, like as he looks at you, like something's wrong. Not wrong, just very different. Like,
Yeah.
If someone got a haircut, except the haircut was, a bunch of spikes drilled out of their head kind of thing. Very something surprising.
Right. I'm imagining like the hair, like you look like a character from Riffs all of a sudden with the spikes coming out of your head, and
right. So yeah, he's like, so he'd basically ask. Well, he'd be calm enough to start with and ask what you were there for, but clearly has his questions.
So I don't know if you heard about it. Well, I mean, you wouldn't have, but the new job I worked at, there was some sort of lab accident, and something really strange happened. And I'll sort of describe like a hideous monster got loose, and I killed it. But it was a very strange feeling at the time, like I nearly died and had some sort of, I want to use the word epiphany. It was very strange. There was a lot of light, and that's the only way I was able to kill the monster.
He, based on the way you describe it, he looks kind of conflicted a bit because, on one hand, that sounds pretty much like an awakening, but on the other hand, you probably don't feel exactly like a mage.
Right. He's probably like, do you feel X or Y or Z? And I'm like, none of those things.
Like, actually, if you have awareness, why don't you roll some awareness?
Sure. Assuming the DC is 6.
Yeah. If I don't say, you can assume it's 6. All right. So, yeah. As you're starting to talk to him and explaining everything, you notice that there are a few times, you're used to him in general, kind of like, taking breaths to center himself or keeping himself calm, that kind of thing. But now you realize that as he's doing that, he's doing something weird. You feel like a tingle on your skin whenever he does it. And like it's the feeling like someone's watching you, even though you can see him actually watching you. It's like he's also watching you without you seeing him watching you. Is the way it comes off.
By feeling your chi or something, it's like I'm sure he tried to get me to do it and was never able to. Right, like that's how.
Yeah.
Center yourself and feel your chi and blah 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 blah, and you do it often enough. Eventually, you get a sorcerer out of it, and I think it's actually working now.
Yeah, he looks to you and says, well, something has certainly happened to you. It's not what I expected. You've your chi is actually burning outward, like it's barely contained within itself. It's like nothing I've ever really seen before.
Is that the fire I was seeing before, perhaps? Like, my chi became visible? Didn't even know that was possible.
I wouldn't have thought it was either, but yes, it sounds like maybe that's what happened. Right now it's barely contained. It seems like it could wash outward. What were you doing when you saw that? Well, I guess you already, yeah. Like, yeah. What exactly were you doing at the moment it happened?
I was firing my gun at the hideous monster, and it did a thing, and the bullets were wreathed in green fire and flew back at me and hit me right in the face. That didn't take. There was definitely a hole in my helmet.
Right. So yes, well, that sounds almost like the sort of... I'm trying to think how he would put it. Obviously, he wouldn't say he was trying to awaken you before, but he'd say like, it sounds almost like the sort of enlightenment we try to push our students towards, but that's not usually the situation we would expect it, and it certainly wouldn't happen like this. Well, yeah, I'll just be
state.
yeah, I'll be straightforward with you. I can feel more than just your aura. There's, your body has changed. It's, sturdy. It's more perfect in its ability to withstand the world. And that same aura is actually like working through your flesh itself in a way that that one's chi normally can't. Not without specific methods that, well, you would know if you were using them. And it sounds like that just sort of happened to you.
Yeah, no. Like, as soon as it happened, obviously, I was already trying to kill the monster, but I had a definite urge that the world would be a better place, be more right if I killed that thing.
Yeah. Let's see, what's good? Does this have a good dojo thing?
Oh, I named it already. It's the heat.
No, I was looking for a good background sound just because it was getting. All right. I lost my train of thought for a brief moment there. All right. So, no, that's my own fault. ADD. Yeah, he nods and says, "Well, it definitely sounds like that thing was worth getting rid of. But I'll tell you what, there are some others that I have contact with that I can talk to and see if we can figure out a little bit more about what might have happened to you."
That sounds like a good idea.
Right. Yeah, he'll basically tell you, stop by again in a few days. And so, well, is there anything you're going to do before you go back, or just enjoy your vacation otherwise?
Probably just enjoy my vacation otherwise.
Sounds good. Sorry. So, when you go back, he looks confused, not like at you when you come in, like he's already confused from whatever he was doing. Like, he tells you that, well, from what I was able to discern, talking with some friends of mine, there are some ancient records of those of us who have previously had associations with houses of ancient families that were able to bring an elemental effect into their chi to literally bring fire into themselves at the very level of its essence, or in some cases air or earth, or water. They're thought to be extinct in the modern days, and it's not exactly like what you say happened to you. You said that was more like a burning light rather than literal fire, correct?
Yeah, it was like little pieces of, described like the burning, or probably got it to work by now, right? I assume like part of the thing I did during my vacation is see if I can.
Yeah, if you were, practicing. Yeah, practicing with your abilities and new instincts and stuff, you'd be able to, get your anima out without any issue.
Yeah, so that was probably the advice he gave, in fact.
Yeah.
Work on that. But
I mean, he's always telling you to work on that, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, it certainly looks like fire, but, when I fired bullets at the thing, like they were wreathed in golden light or fire, that doesn't seem to happen every time I shoot the gun. Like, I went down to the range and, they were just bullets. Just strange. That seems to be related to both intent and the target.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, it sounds similar to them, those that we would say carried the blood of dragons in them, but it's, it's obviously its own. I can't find any record of like a solar elemental, or a solar dragon providing its blood to one of these houses. But again, they've been said to be extinct for a long time, or at least to the brink of extinction. And, well, frankly, they were usually, they were born of a lineage. They wouldn't usually just happen randomly. And it, out of character, did you tell him about the other two, about there being, others with a burning aura that appeared in that scene?
So I probably might have. Well, I only saw the first question is: how do you even have a burning aura?
They have like a the borealis above them rather than them burning.
Right.
Okay. So I probably mentioned that there was another flaming aura there, although different color.
Aurora borealis here in this room.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Right. Localized entirely in Pentex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I see it? Sorry.
My fault.
So yeah, if you did tell him those basics about the others and said like, yeah, and it definitely didn't seem to have anything about a celestial or above them or a green sun or green flames or anything like that.
It was definitely this. I'll definitely mention it was the same color as the fire that was coming out of the DSBs. I thought was really weird. I think maybe so. My speculation is that like maybe those guys didn't have inherent magic. It was just like the creature missed. It tried to light them on fire and failed because it tried to hit me, with its magic tentacle whip. It just didn't do anything.
It's possible, but well, from what you described to me and what I was able to look up, that sort of creature should also be incredibly rare and is usually, well, frankly, an apocalyptic sort of event if they show up. It's miraculous that you all were able to destroy it, let alone survive. Or survive, let alone destroy it.
Yeah, it definitely seems. First off, it's a little weird that Magadon makes those in their labs, although this appears to be somewhat accidental. But
yes, well, Magadon, let's just say it's been on our radar for a bit. They're not exactly what they seem.
well, I mean, for that first day, sure.
Yes, I'm sure you're aware of at least that much now. But
yeah, guess I should be your friend or have a lead on these extinct or possibly extinct houses.
I can try to put the word out to look if any of them are around, or at the very least to try to tap into some of our, let's say, rarer libraries to see if we can get more specific information for you. That might take a while, though, but I will let you know when I have something.
Sure. In the meantime, I will. I guess I need this. I still need this job. So
yes. In the meantime, it actually probably is a good idea to, stick around there, see what you can see, learn as much as you can about yourself, and confirm if the other two were just a fluke of this creature or if they had a similar epiphany.
I mean, maybe they did, and maybe it was the creature that caused it. Certainly possible.
He nods. Like, right. Well, that's unfortunately all I can tell you right now, but I'll get back to you, and if you learn anything else, you can, of course, come by and tell me, too.
Sure. And
gives you
we do. Yeah.
Yeah, he gives you a bow and all that.
Yeah.
All right. So was Dolores going to be doing anything during the week?
Well, Dolores probably just not having a good time, you know. She was thinking, oh, I'm going to have a nice week to relax and so on after all of this. But no, she couldn't sleep for the first couple of days. I think she eventually started biting her fingers out of anxiety, and, you know, that kind of caused her to mark her own lair inside of her house for a brief, and, you know, that helped her and so on. But then she was like getting weird visions of things from the past with past lives fives and so on. And, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole week.
Actually, why don't you roll me your past lives? I don't remember if it's usually rolled, but it seems like a good way to do things.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah, you normally add it to your abilities, but roll it anyway.
Yeah. I think I actually have. I think the flow flashbacks. Yeah, I think that might be related. Let me look that up.
Yeah.
I was rolling anything. Well, sure. I'll just roll it.
Yeah, we'll meld it all together.
Roll to chat. 2 successes.
Okay, so yeah, you definitely have a lot of visions and bad dreams. You have memories that aren't quite yours, but are also definitely yours, of those that have betrayed you in the past, except this one time you remember you were actually betraying someone else, and then no, it's contradicted again. It was actually someone else that tricked them into thinking you betray them, and you know the details of that change each time. But what you do remember is essentially a war against the enemies of the gods, and you wouldn't really know how to define that except in vague impressions it puts on you. You would know that whatever the case, you are definitely changed. You know that you are these people you have memories of, even if you're not them. And you know that there is indeed something in the world that is against you. You know that you are something new now. You know, a fragment of something.
Guys, reincarnation is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I don't have anything actionable really. So,
all right.
Did you sorry, I just want to make sure I understood. Did you make the office your lair thing?
Well, once we get to the office, I'll make it. But then for now,
yeah,
you know, it'll be her house for the week.
Yeah, for the moment, you're between offices.
Between layers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how difficult is it for you to declare a lair? I can't remember.
Let's see. I think it takes a process that takes essence and health levels and so on.
Right. I mean, you could probably, at least temporarily, figure out how to make your own home your lair until you have a better option.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to worry about that too much right now because it's just mostly downtime and getting used to your new situation.
Yeah. I'll look that up. In the meantime, I didn't copy the base rules. I didn't copy the...
Yeah. I forgot to open up the Hardy to rules. The not quite released stuff.
2 levels of lethal damage and spend 3 essence. Spend a full day slowly working it up. Less of...
Okay, yeah, if you did that early, you would be, fine by the end of the week. All right. So, on that, we will leave it on the not quite cliffhanger that essentially, at the end of the week, you get told that you're going to another office that they were already working on opening up. And you all basically, talked to a mental health expert, a psychologist, and whatnot.
Thank you, Val.
And I won't make you roll awareness, but you all know they tried to do something to you that didn't take, but they didn't seem to notice that it didn't take, which is notable because when you do go to the office, and we'll basically start next time, like shortly after you get there, it looks exactly the same as the one that was just destroyed, but in a slightly different area, like, 2 blocks over. And no one else, there are a couple people that were, the survivors that ran away in the first one. They don't notice that it's the exact same, but you all do. So we will come back to that next time. So, with that, thank you everyone for listening. This has been Chris Falco from Falconian Productions, and you've been listening to Exalted vs. World of Darkness Pentex.